it going for AJ, guys, while she gets up on the chair. Yes, AJ, exactly. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And your book, it's out. Crazy is My Superpower. It's out. How does that feel?
It honestly it feels like I gave birth to a baby today.
How many pounds? It's adorable, by the way.
I think it's like half a pound. She's beautiful. Yeah, it's the proudest day of my life. It's sort of surreal. Like, oh my God, I did that. Yeah, it's very exciting.
How was the process? I mean, for somebody who obviously you have tons of stories to tell, but what's it like to sit down and actually write a novel like this?
It's slightly traumatic. When you go through hardships, I think there's part of your brain that tries to forget them and stores them somewhere, hides them under a bed in your head. And when you write a book like this, where it's, telling your entire life story, you have to go back and you have to unveil those and relive them. And it's a little hard. And I spent many days just crying into my hair while writing these chapters. And it was intense, but worth it and cathartic because you let it out of your head and into the world and find a way to heal from it, and hope that other people can learn something, hopefully.
I mean, all the stories about your wrestling career and everything like that. I mean, how is it to share those stories and to really think about how far you've come, from your early days growing up? Obviously, your family situation was a little complicated,
right.
As you say in the book.
Yeah, it was most interesting to me to tackle wasn't just, behind the scenes of wrestling. That stuff is interesting, and there's definitely some fun stuff in there of how crazy it can get. But to me,
can we tease some of the stories out there for the fans? Yes, I think we have to. They want it.
There may or may not be the tale of my first kiss with my husband. And some not so fun moments of sort of being told that I couldn't do it, and people really wanting me to change, and me fighting back and saying I won't, and paying the price for that. And so there's definitely a lot of that stuff in there. But I thought it was really important to show people that it is possible to get to the top of a profession even if you start at complete rock bottom in your life. And for those of you who don't know, I'm from New Jersey, and for most of my childhood, we were basically gypsies, and we were homeless and lived in motels, got evicted about 20 times. And then I also had my family deal with mental illness. So there were so many obstacles to overcome and so many things that made me feel like I could never accomplish anything. So to actually accomplish my dreams and then some, it was important for me to tell people that anything, literally anything, is possible if this Jersey chick can do it.
I mean, where did you find that inner strength to stand up for what you? I mean, obviously, being a woman in wrestling is mostly a male-dominated arena, literally. Tell me a little bit about where you found that strength coming from where you came to stand up and say, this is how I want to dress, this is how I want to portray myself. Tell me a little bit about that. Were those early years, crucial to that development?
Definitely. I think if my childhood had been easy, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't have been so tough and so stubborn. And I think when the world is denying your value, it either breaks you or it makes you want to fight that much harder to prove everyone wrong. And to me, I was adamant about who I wanted to be, the kind of role model I wanted to be. And if I can't do something the right way, I won't do it. So for me, it was more important to be true to who I am than to kind of sell out just to be successful. And you either crash and burn if you choose to be different. It can fail. But luckily for me, I think, you guys embraced me, and I got really lucky in that way where people connected to me because I was just being real.
Now, crazy is my superpower. Where'd that title come from? Obviously, there's a lot of meanings that can be derived, and maybe it's twofold in the meaning behind it. Where'd that come from?
Well, I like to say that crazy for you can be whatever people tell you you should be ashamed of, whatever people tell you it makes you not good enough, whatever your flaw is. In some way, you can take that and co-opt it and own it and say, this is the best thing about me. And especially in this day and age where I feel like there's a lot of pressure for kids to grow up fast and maybe there aren't the best role models out there. I think to tell people that who they are born as, things that they feel insecure about, that's what makes you the most special. Is what makes you the most powerful. So crazy can be anything. For me, it is being impulsive, it's being loud, it's being stubborn. It's a lot of things, but in a literal sense, it is my bipolar disorder, which I've come out in this book and try to explain to people who might not know it. It's a more severe form of a mental illness, and it has cycles between mania and depression. It's a mood disorder. And it's something I was so ashamed of for so long. It runs in my family. And I just kind of hid it from the world and was, out there telling people to be themselves and be proud of who they are while I was hiding something. So this is my way of sort of embracing who I am and putting my money where my mouth is. And hopefully somebody else can feel a little less alone.
I mean, it's important messaging to get out there because I think it is so stigmatized and people do, sort of shy away from speaking about it. It's something you should be ashamed about. But so many people are touched by. I know people with bipolar disorder. I know, a lot of people out there I'm sure do. I mean, how do you share the stories that, what would you say to people out there that are struggling with this and are looking for, some sort of help or, what should they be saying or what should they be searching for?
The hardest thing is to just start by acknowledging it. And a lot of people, when they hear mental illness or depression or bipolar, they get so intimidated by the stigma and what people are going to think about them that they try to ignore it. And so the first step is acknowledging it, talking about it, finding someone that you trust, whether it's a counselor, a teacher, a friend, a parent, and then maybe take a few steps to get a little educated about it. I'm currently partnering with NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And so I would encourage people to go to NAMI.org and just learn, read. You can find so many statistics on there that will let you know you're not alone. I'm also partnering with the JED Foundation. And they very much concentrate on, I think, the same kind of people that I'm trying to reach, which is a younger audience that is just realizing that they're dealing with this. 50% of all mental illness cases begin within the ages of 14 to 24. So what I want for people to get out of this book is that you can recognize that there's a problem and just take tiny steps into solving that problem and helping yourself and controlling your life.
What was it like to sort of come to grips with that and also to embrace it while you were in the middle of a WWE career? I mean, while you're touring, you're doing these matches, there's a lot of highs and lows in show business, of course. Was that difficult for you to do that? Well,
yeah, I mean, how I explain in the book is there was such a roller coaster of trying to gain control over my disorder and try to find the right pattern of treatment. And by the time I started this whirlwind of a career, I had done the work to protect myself and to take care of myself, and I was strong enough to handle it. There were definitely times that, tested. Sometimes you can get so stressed out that you feel like you are maybe going to lose it, and you really have to take the time to calm yourself down and take care of yourself. But I felt in control because I had been brave enough to speak out and to get help. So yeah, I really just think that it gave me a strength I wouldn't have had if I didn't have bipolar disorder. It made me brave, it gave me balls of steel.
Yeah, and speaking about that career, I mean, were there any stories in there that you're excited to share with the fans? I mean, I'm sure they followed you through your entire career, so you had a lot of championships. You had a lot of times at the top. I mean, what was that like?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to hit the most significant moments for me, and that was when stuff was just happening, and to create something out of nothing. A lot of the stories in the book kind of just go into how so many things happened by accident. You know, being in the right place at the right time, and the saying is success is when opportunity meets preparation. And I had been so prepared my whole life. I wanted to be a wrestler since I was 12, and I was just like, once you give me a sliver of an opportunity, and I will kick that door down.
So what does that look like at 12? Are you like, suplexing kids? Or what are you doing? What are you doing to build that training?
I broke my brother's futon doing a swanton. So yes. But I was so serious about it. And I remember, telling my mom, like I just knew at 12, I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a wrestler when I grow up. And she was like, okay. The kids. But I was very, very serious about it. And I did everything in my power to make it happen.
Yeah. I heard there were some posters on your wall of wrestling characters.
So I had a poster of Kane above my bed. Flash forward 14 years. I'm mounting him in the center of the ring. Dream big.
Yeah, dreams do come true. Absolutely.
They come true.
Yeah. Who are some of the favorite, people to work with? I mean, those names are so familiar for us who are growing up with wrestling. I mean, tell us.
Oh gosh. Being able to, especially when I was so new and so green, but I think part of the magic was being so naive and being like, I don't know what I'm doing. So you get something so genuine on screen of someone just finding their way. But having people like Kane and Daniel Bryan and John Cena and CM Punk,
the husband, for those who don't know. Yeah, exactly.
We're married, I don't know. As like mentors, it was so invaluable to have people looking out for me and teaching me the ropes, and I couldn't have done it without them. I also had some amazing women in my corner. So there's an entire chapter dedicated to women supporting women.
How about the fans who have come? I'm sure they're so excited about these books and you sharing your stories. I mean, how's the fan? I mean, I know I've seen some positive reviews already, on Amazon, stuff like that. Everybody go buy the book, obviously, but people are very excited. Yeah, there we go. I mean, what's the fan reaction been like? What's it been like to see people actually reacting to this thing that you created?
At first, it was pretty terrifying because, you put your life, every raw nerve, every mistake you've made, my darkest secrets, my darkest moments, you put it on paper, and it's on a computer screen, and it's not really real yet. And then I woke up today, and I was like, oh, God, what did I do? Should not have wrote that. So it's immediate regret. No, I'm kidding. So it's overwhelming because it's all of me, and it's in a book, and you get all of me. And so that's a very, very vulnerable place to be. And just coming out as bipolar maybe a month or two ago, it was terrifying, and the response was so warm and embracing, and everyone was just like, oh, I get it. Everything makes sense now. And it's okay. And the coolest thing has been people, fans, and even friends and family saying, I know someone who's bipolar, I love someone who's bipolar, or I'm bipolar. And now I feel a little bit more comfortable to talk about it.
Yeah, that's great. And you and CM Punk, were you sharing the work with him while you were doing it? Was he reviewing the chapters, or did you keep it hidden from him and then reveal?
Okay. He was banned from my office. And just try to sneak. But in my acknowledgments, I mentioned that he would come into the office and be like, what are you doing? Why are you taking so long? And then one day he brought me a grilled cheese, and so I was like, okay, I forgive you. But yeah, I'm pretty strange about my method. So it would just be these 8-hour days of just crying into a box of cookies, and then no one was allowed to look at me or talk to me or stop me, and you want it to be perfect before people look at it. So yeah, he didn't read it until I gave him a copy, and then he was just like, why do you call me Grandpa so much? I don't appreciate that. It's how I show love.
What do you actually call him? Do you call him Punk? I have to know. What do you call him?
Yeah, I call him... ever called him punk, the first, as I also say in the book, the first thing I had him listed as in my phone was Grandpa. I really like to rub in that age difference.
But he looks good. He's training still. You know, it's great. Do you guys work out together? You guys stay in shape together? I mean, it seems like a mutual thing that brought you guys together a little bit.
Definitely. I think the couple that squats together stays together. It's
your next book, I feel like.
Trademark.
Pointing the manager.
Yeah. We're pretty serious about it. We have like a gym at home, and it's something that brings us together. I also feel like exercise is such a therapy for me, and it's part of my treatment. Really, I discovered it's this thing that I can control. I can control the way I feel. It gives me adrenaline and endorphins, and I believe in that so much, of just having that thing that you can do in your day to calm you down and feel so capable and so strong. So it's fun to have him along for that.
Yeah, that's great. And he fights with so much heart. You know, everything he does is so inspirational too. You guys both are. I mean, what's it like to be like with him? Is he like up at 6 a.m. in training? I know he's doing UFC right now. I mean, he's gonna stay in there doing mixed martial arts.
Yeah, and he's just way more dedicated to fitness, I think, like eating right than I am. Like, he will get up and like go on like a 3-mile run, and I'm just like, bring donuts when you get home. And he will stop all sweaty and bring home donuts. I swear to God, it's amazing. So we differ on diet for sure. But yeah, he's very dedicated, and I admire him so much.
And to watch his move into the UFC and everything like that, I mean, it's so inspiring for him to find that. You know, what was it like to be around that?
Gosh, I'm so proud of someone who, I mean, you're talking to a chick who, you know, lived in a car and was like, I'm going to be on TV. Like, everyone in the world would have laughed in my face, you know? And so I believe in having a goal and just doing whatever you can to reach it. And so to know him and be around him and see that he has these goals and he's going to, you know, do whatever he wants to reach them, that inspires me. And I respect that so much. And, you know.
Can you explain a little bit about that first audition, that first intro into wrestling, and what that was like, that experience for you? I mean, obviously, you know, women in wrestling has changed so much since then, but what was that like?
My first experience.
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
ring?
it's in the book, but just for the fans out there, yeah.
So, I mean, I hadn't worked out at all yet, so I was like 90 pounds, soaking wet, and just skin and bones, and took my first bump and was like, oh, I died. This is heaven. It was the most painful thing on earth. And then I think I did like 200 more, because that was how you like got, that was the first day of training at my school. And I was like, oh, I'm not strong enough for this. I'm just not gonna, I don't know. I immediately got pneumonia because my body was like, maybe, do a sit-up. And then I realized I needed to start eating a little bit healthier, start working out, and just get more mentally tough. So I could have quit right there. Luckily, I came back, the next week and just kept getting beat up until my skin got thicker and thicker.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite move that you developed through your career? What was your favorite thing to perform?
I guess my finisher was my favorite, which was called the Black Widow.
Some people out there know it, and now she's going to demo it on 3 people. No, I'm joking.
We're going to do it right now. You ready? Okay.
That would be TV worthy. That's sure. I'm not ready.
In this skirt. But it probably would be that. I remember doing it in practice when I was just in a little school in New Jersey, a little wrestling school, and everyone being like, "Oh, you look like a little spider, like you're a little spider monkey." That's all you can do is just like jump on people, and and like that's all I was capable of. So it was like funny to me to find a finisher that incorporated that, but also like looked cool and had a name that was I think fitting for the character. So yeah, that was for sure my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, those are the 2 things, the finishing move and then the walkout song. Do you still ever hear that? Do you still listen to it back in iTunes or anything like that? Is that on the iPod?
Would that be the saddest thing in the world if that was just like, repeat? Repeat.
Just picture you walking down the street listening to that, just conquering the world.
Oh my God.
Am I wrong?
Oh my God.
Every morning they.
It's a solid song. And I love it. I swear, somebody this morning on a radio show played it, and I had this like flashback, and I was like, it's been like 2 years since I've heard it, and it feels like, it feels like a piece of me, and so it was a really nice nostalgic moment. The funny thing is, the first song they gave me was like Chipmunk singing it. Does anyone remember? I had it for like 2 weeks, and I was so embarrassed. And I think I went to like my first FCW show right after I debuted, and they were like, "Oh, we have your new music," and they played it, and like everyone in the locker room was like, "Oh my God, this is so bad." So someone must have been like, "Please change her music."
Just fighting to get what you wanted, you know?
Yeah.
You put your foot down. I like that. We have some questions here in the audience, so we're going to start right there.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Jubilee, and I just want to say
Did you say
congratulations.
your name is Jubilee?
Yeah, like
You
yeah,
were
it's my character.
The coolest person on earth. You are an
Thank you
X-Men
so
character.
much.
Holy shit.
Wow, you make me super nervous.
Say shit.
My question is, when you were a child, did you see yourself writing and publishing a book?
Oh, that's a good question. It started I used to read comic books and video games, and before I really understood what fan fiction was, I was like writing fan fiction. I was just like, it should have ended this way. Like Meryl should not have died. Metal Gear Solid, shout out. Pour one out for Meryl. I couldn't do the torture thing, whatever. So anyway, so I kind of started writing in that way, and then it felt like an escape for me from the harsh reality of my life, and I started to find power in that. And when I went to college for a solid 6 months, right over here at NYU.
Shout out to NYU.
Shout out. They kicked me out. I wanted to write screenplays, and just writing was always something I felt I was capable of. So it was really cool to be able, I took the long road. I had an entire career in between, but I ended up actually doing it, and so it's been its own dream come true for sure.
Great question. And
Thank you.
The next one is, there we go, right there.
Hey AJ, how you doing?
How are you? That was choreographed. You guys were like 1, 2.
We just our new partner duo.
Tag
Just
partner.
1, 2, 3. Name's Travis, and his name is Trevor. We're both twins.
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
We want to thank you as behalf of the fans for what you've done for women's wrestling and really putting it on the map and giving the divas a chance. You're the one who really started it, no matter what they say. So,
Round of applause.
and we really have an important question to ask you.
Batman or Superman, or neither.
Oh God. Like either way, I'm gonna lose some sort of street cred here. I have always, in general, gravitated toward Marvel comics because I feel like their heroes are more. Their powers are a weight on them. It's a burden, whereas like Superman is always just like, yeah, drink your milk. And so I always felt like Batman was like the Marvel character in DC. So I've connected to him, and he's on my laptop, and then I married him.
Perfect
Sorry,
answer.
do you hate me? Is it okay? Okay.
They're totally cool with it.
Okay.
So we have one last question right there.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I'm sorry. I look at the floor when I talk.
Me too. All the time.
So how does it feel to have like so much fans who support you so much? Like after such a hard journey, going through all the bad, difficult challenges that you went through. Like how does it feel to have fans that support you so much that they think of you as their god, as like their, me included, like as the person they pray to at night. They're like how does it feel to have so much people around the world think of you as that?
Oh, I have to be a better person.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, thank you. For me, it's gratifying because as a child and like through literally every stage of my life, outlined in this book, there's somebody telling me you are not good enough, you are broken in 100 ways, and you're never gonna get where you want to go. There's even just the feeling of like you're not good enough to be loved. At so many stages, I've been, kind of that's been the general feeling, and so to be able to do something where I can be, I feel like my character on TV was so flawed, and so, she was just mean and crazy and bratty and selfish, and for people to, I think when you're like, okay, like, can I use that word? I'm fucked up. Yeah. To not try to be perfect or this unattainable supermodel or like every day of my life is so great, to not try to be that, to try to just show people who you really are, even though people for every step have told you that that's not good enough, and to have people be like, no, that is, like, fuck it, we love you for that. I feel like it took me a real long time, but like I found my place in the world, and it is with like you fans that like get me. And so I grew up, really lonely and on my own, and so now I feel like I have like this really big family, and it's cool.
Well said, well said. Well, guys, pick up Crazy is My Superpower in stores now. See if there's a book signing in your neighborhood, and thank you so much for being here, AJ.
Thank you.
Keep it going.